Our system of broadcast media is regulated by the FCC, a government agency originally set up to protect the public interest. Today, that regulatory body promotes deregulation, more power to media moguls. The head of the FCC justifies media concentration on the grounds that only big companies can cover a war like the one in Iraq. Just before the war in Iraq began, American media companies began lobbying the FCC for rule changes that would benefit their bottom lines. There was a question raised. Did the FCC agree to waive the rules if the media companies agreed to wave the flag?
You don't go in and report critically on an administration that you hope will give you billions and billions of dollars in new policies.
We've been in this business long enough to be very careful, but I'm sure they were working for a deal, and we're hoping that being supportive of the war would get them the deal. Remember what Rupert Murdoch did when he was in China. He was the only one defending China, despite all the abuses of human rights, because he was working on a TV deal with, which he eventually got in China.
The reason the coverage in part was so tepid, was so timid, was because these same media companies like News Corp, Fox, GE, NBC, Viacom, CBS were trying to curry favor to win the support of the Bush administration for this huge giveaway on media ownership.
This is not something that happened yesterday. It didn't happen overnight. It's been going on here in the United States for about 2 decades at least. And it's been a process. It's been an organized, concerted, thought-out, well-planned, and well-executed process.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear that I will...
Going back to the Reagan administration, flowing through the first Bush administration, and now being picked up successfully so far by the second Bush administration.
Power generally, not just media power, power tends to go with power. Primarily, they want to support whoever's in the White House. They want to support government. They want to support other large corporate interests. They don't want to rock the boat, generally.
This is a plan. It's a plan. It's not serendipitous. It doesn't happen accidentally. It's what they want. They want to be able to control the political discussion.
Who was the FCC commissioner with whom they were trying to curry favor, who was acting on their behalf during this period? It was Michael Powell, the son of Colin Powell.
The evils of media consolidation will never get past our fortifications.
I mean, I think it was very clear that the major media companies in this country had business before the government. Boom. It's a conflict of interest.
Should they, use Moab, the mother of all bombs?
10% are so-called dumb bombs.
Target Iraq. There is, of course...
The coverage of the war for Iraqi freedom undermined our own freedom, especially the right to know. It sold us a war in the guise of reporting it. Impressions substituted for fact, and news saturation promoted fear and the sense that unilateral invasion was the only option.
While it hasn't been found, it's still there.
The challenge is what to do about the pervasive media irresponsibility we saw in this war.
Media hasn't really been taken to task at all. There is no global watchdog that's saying you didn't do your job well. Media people seem to be more comfortable repeating the words of politicians, repeating statements that come out in press, etc., than actually probing and trying to find out what it really means. Is it true? Is it true?
Just as there's an investigation now into the failure of the intelligence community, we need an investigation into the failure of our journalistic community.
It's one thing to talk about this war, but as you look to the future, if you didn't like this, you're really not going to like what's going to come down the road the next time.
Can we fight back against deceptive news and massive media concentration? Can we fight back against jingoism posing as journalism? Can we afford not to fight back? I joined the media to spotlight the problems of the world, came to see that the media is one of those problems. I believe in freedom of the press, but not just freedom for those who own the press. What can we do to hold the media more accountable? Think about it. Now I've had my say. It's your turn.